everything that's been new in the last 20 years will be gone in 20 years. What's going to survive is old. So everybody thinks, well, technology is going to make it. What survive is old. It's the reason gold and silver will survive is because it's old. Bitcoin may not survive because it's new.
On Bitcoin, this digital currency that's out there that people say, oh, it might be the next big thing. What do you think?
I think it's rat poison.
Do you understand what they're trying to do with it?
No, but I regard it as deeply flaky.
Bill, what do you think?
I think it's a technical tour de force, but that's an area where governments are going to maintain a dominant role.
Let's talk about that, because you started out as a Bitcoin skeptic. I've listened to a lot of your interviews. There was a tweet in 2012 where you likened it to a form of online gambling.
Mr. Wonderful thinks it's worthless.
Well,
he called it garbage this morning.
I want to explore the idea. I did say that. I want to explore the idea that there is nothing here except raw speculation. No different than when I go to Las Vegas and put my money on black or red on a roulette wheel. You haven't changed my mind at all. It's still garbage, and I'm not going to take real money and put it into this thing. It's never going to happen. I mean, imagine real money, taking real dollars that I'm making in cash 2.1% on and putting it into crypto crap.
System from the financial elites, giving ordinary people a chance to take part in a decentralized financial system. And you know what? He succeeded. Bitcoin is open source, which means that no person or entity alone has the power to control it. And it is public, which means anyone with internet access has access to it. They can participate whether they live in a country with no financial infrastructure or they're from a terrorist group. So Bitcoin was basically the response to the great financial crisis, which showed that even big financial institutions can fail. It really highlighted the fragility of the modern financial system and called for a decentralization of financial transactions, and that is where Bitcoin.
Gold, gentlemen, which can be melted down and recast, is virtually untraceable, which makes it, unlike diamonds, ideal for smuggling, attracting the biggest and most ingenious criminals. Thank you, Russell. I move it. Because the price of gold varies from country to country. If you buy it here at $30 an ounce, you can sell it in, say, Pakistan at $110 and triple your money.
I made a delivery too.
You all made the deliveries we contracted for.
And you owe me $1 million.
Gentlemen, you can have the million today. Or 10 millions tomorrow.
Did you say 10 million?
This is my bank. The gold depository at Fort Knox, gentlemen. In its vaults are $15 billion. The entire gold supply of the United States.
$15 billion in gold bullion weighs 10,500 tons. 60 men would take 12 days to load it onto 200 trucks. This government's given you a bomb.
I prefer to call it an atomic device. It's small, but particularly dirty.
Cobalt and iodine?
Precisely.
Well, if you explode it in Fort Knox, the entire gold supply of the United States will be radioactive for 57 years. They get what they want, economic chaos in the West, and the value of your gold increases many times.
Intrinsic value inherent in deploying real capital, let's talk real money here, and putting it into Bitcoin as a storage of value. I get gold. For 2,000 years, including the Romans, they saw value in owning that as an asset class. When people actually put real money into this, they make no interest, they can't pay their taxes with it, the regulators don't like it, which is always a problem for compliance. And where's the long-term value? Just this idea that they're going to cut the number of units in half, such a scam. Like, that's just total.
And then you had the slow conversion into becoming what I would say one of the more exceptional Bitcoin evangelists. I mean, I would describe you like that based on a lot of the stuff that you've said, but now you're putting your money alongside of your ideas in your mouth. You've announced a $425 million investment in Bitcoin from the MicroStrategy cash reserve. And so could you take us through your personal odyssey from skeptic, this is online gambling, to, okay, wait a minute, this is a lot like Microsoft, Facebook, and Amazon?
Sure. I mean, in the early days of Bitcoin, Bitcoin's like an open source project. There's no company behind it. It's an emergent phenomena in cyberspace. And, and as it emerged, the early days, it was very uncertain and scary and complicated. And so how will the IRS tax it? Will the government ban it? Will it be illegal to hold it? The early exchanges were failing. Mt. Gox failed. The early use cases were Silk Road. The early question of, is it a security or not, right? You went through all of these tests for Bitcoin. It could have been destroyed because it was banned. It could have been destroyed because it was hijacked by bad exchanges. It could have been destroyed because it was forked. Everybody said, well, either someone else is going to copy it or the government will ban it. Over the last 8 years, what happened is it was copied 6,500 times, Anthony. It's the winner of the crypto war. So how do you get comfortable with it? Well, after it's been attacked 6,500 times by clones and they've all failed, and when it emerged to be 95% of all of the proof of work networks, like 95% of all the monetary energy in the crypto asset space is on the Bitcoin network, then it's Facebook, it's not MySpace. So we had to watch it get to a point of maturity where it's seasoned. And we had to watch all of these bad exchanges failed, and all the bad actors failed. And we had to watch the development of a regulatory apparatus. So now you have KYC regulation on the exchanges in the US. You have clarity with regard to how it's taxed. You have clarity with regard to what it is and isn't. I think people are starting to understand it's not a currency. It's not a payment network. It's a bank in cyberspace that allows billions of people to store their money. It gives them a simple, straightforward, affordable, secure savings account for people that can't set up their own hedge fund and don't know and can't get into a hedge fund, and they just want to put their money in a bank. The politicians and the country has destroyed the savings account over the past 30 years. When I was a kid, you put your money in a savings account, get 5% interest, and everybody believed that the money was going to be more valuable in the future. You wouldn't lose your money. And that option's been deprived. And so Bitcoin has emerged from casino, gambling, scary, to the savings account or savings and loan at the end of the universe. And that's the journey of the 10 years. And that's why I could get excited about it in the year 2020.